Hey, how's it going, everybody? We had certainly had an interesting week one. I hope you guys did well. If you won some money, please let us know about it. Um, Dennis, how'd you do?
Man, listen, let me. Week one was, I guess, everything that we should expect it to be. All right. Week one was full of a whole bunch of, are you kidding me? What just happened? Why? Okay, we're back in football season. Let's not act like we didn't know that this type of stuff was not going to happen. Okay. So, um, I don't even know where to begin on some of the games. Like that Dallas New York Giants, when it started raining 15 minutes before the game, should have known. Should have known at that point. It's about to be crazy. Dallas defense went absolutely. I mean, they didn't even look like they were from this planet. So
Well, I'll tell
props to
you.
them. And it wasn't even just, dude, it was the special teams also. It was every, that game was dominated. Period. Like, I don't know what the Giants are going to do, because if that's what they're going to do, I know it's week one and I get it, and the rain and whatever. You scored 0 points.
I mean, they look like, to be fair, they look like they're about to come out of the box and just drive down the field, and then it all just went side. I think they were like 3rd and 2, and they got like some boneheaded, like what was it, like a holding or a false start. And then it was 3rd and 7, and then instead of running, now you got to pass, and then he passed. Of course, that turns into a disaster or something, and then we have to kick a field goal. Field goal gets blocked. Run back for a touchdown. That sucks the air out of the stadium, and the
Boom.
Giants get back, and they're like, "Shit."
Yep.
And then
That's basically
it
what
felt
happened.
like it was just all downhill from there. And by the
Yep.
time the Giants like started trying to catch themselves, it was just too late, and the bloodbath was on.
Man,
So
can we
and
can we can we take a minute to talk about how San Francisco looked like they were literally in midseason form?
I actually didn't want to see that as someone who likes Pittsburgh and wanted to
Yeah.
see something from Pittsburgh coming out of the
Yeah.
gates. I was surprised Mike Tomlin team coming out flat like that. A little disappointed. I wanted to see the Pick brothers in action. I think Deontay Johnson might have a hamstring thing, so
He's out
George
this week.
George
He's
Pickens
out this
might
week.
be the X button or
He's that guy.
the square button
Yeah.
for Kenny Pickett this week
Yeah.
against
He's
a pretty good defense. What is it, Cincinnati or Cleveland or something?
Yeah, Cleveland. And here's what's going to happen. Okay? He's wide receiver 2. After this week, he will be wide receiver 1 or getting ready to be wide receiver 1. And you can take that however you want. Like, if you can pick up George Pickens right now, for if he's available, if you can get him and
Which you
start
probably
him,
can.
right, you need to.
He should be a bargain.
This week he's going to absolutely dominate. Okay, it's Monday Night Football, right? Coming up, it's Monday Night Football. It's the last game of the night. Okay, and it's in Pittsburgh. Uh, Bro, Pickens he's gonna have a night. He's gonna have a night. It's gonna be like, here I am, right? And with that being said, that's there's a lot. There's a
Yeah,
lot to really
but
unpack. Eagles
I,
started off 16-0, and
oof,
then it just got close. Like, what is happening, right?
what's happening is the Patriots started to look all right all of a sudden. Mac
Man,
Jones started to
yeah,
look okay all of a sudden, which
open. Yep.
I didn't see that one coming.
And Kendrick Bourne said, "Hey guys, I'm here. This is what we do." Right? So he absolutely looked like he was doing
The
his thing.
Supreme,
So,
can we call him the Born Supremacy?
sure, absolutely. I I like it. I like it, man, because he really showed off as far as that goes, and everybody was on Seattle to just dominate and crush the Rams,
Because
right?
LA is going to be crap this
And
year, right?
and that didn't happen because
Oh, looks like Sean
how
McVay
many
might have.
targets did Nakua get? Was it 21
Uh,
targets?
No, dude.
No,
No.
no, no, no,
Absolutely
no,
not.
no.
He
He had
caught
21
like 9
fantasy
of
points.
10. Pretty sure he caught like
That's what
9
it
of
was.
10.
9 of bro. When you catch that many,
He
you
left
are
some
building trust with Stafford.
he left some points on the table too.
Like, oh yeah, yeah.
There's like an Instagram account I follow too that said he should have had like some ridiculous amount of points. I think
That's
it's
my
like
favorite waiver wire this week
yeah, yeah.
because Cup's
But
going to be out for a little bit. So
yeah, him and I tell you what, Atwell's nothing to sneeze at either. It looked like that Stafford's 2
no,
targets. It looked like Sean
mm-hmm.
McVay, those running back coaches. He brought in like some running back or O line coaches from like the Bill Belichick coaching tree. The Shanahan guys, if you know coaching trees like Sean McVay's over here and Bill Belichick's over here. You have like all your coaching trees and what have you, but
Right.
Sean McVay doesn't normally go outside his little ecosystem, and their game was so garbage last year. He did go out and he got, I think, 2 guys. I don't know if there was 2 running back coaches or offensive line coaches or 1 offensive line and 1 running back. I mean, don't quote me on this. Google it. Do your own research. But the running game looked effective, which are not words that I could have said in that order about the Los Angeles Rams at
Right.
any point last season. Guys, I plucked Kyron Williams out of the waiver wire when he was like coming off an ACL, and I was like, this kid's gonna be a game changer. And he came in and looked like not a game changer. So
Yeah.
tell you what though, 2 touchdowns yesterday. Would have been nice to have gotten the memo. So for hanging on to him last year, doing nothing. These boys, Justice Hill hung on Justice Hill all last year and the year before, did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Got injured, comes in, shows out yesterday. So he's on someone else's team now because I was 5th in waiver priority. So God forbid I ever have pick anybody up off the waiver wire in my regular league. But I digress. Story of the year: Aaron Rodgers gone. So New York Jets are going to have to soldier along with Zach Wilson again for the 2nd year in a row, and maybe they'll
4 snaps.
I'm not in the camp that they're on the phone with Tom Brady right now, but I think they're going to roll with Zach Wilson.
That would be wild.
I've heard a couple people saying they're going to reach out to Tom, and I said, look, man, Tom doesn't want to get behind that offensive line. He's had his pretty good year and won a Super Bowl at like 43 or whatever. Anyway, Rodgers is gone. So the New York Jets, the Aaron Rodgers-less Zach Wilson-led Jets are heading into the buzzsaw, the doomsday, the apocalypse, the Thunderdome, doors locked from the outside, that is AT&T Stadium. They're going to go visit my friends Micah Parsons and Trevon Diggs.
Ooh-wee.
And the Dallas Cowboys.
Man.
You might think, wow, this is going to be an even bigger bloodbath than the Giants game, to which I might offer you a contrarian view, a hot take, if you're interested.
Oh,
and
okay.
that hot take is that the Cowboys offense is in line for a pretty big test too. The Cowboys offense might underwhelm, perhaps. So if you're a person that likes moonshot bets, I like. Here's one. If it's one of those where you can put like 5 or 10, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I might do. I'm going to look at them. Okay,
entertainment purposes, right? For entertainment purposes only, guys.
Entertainment purposes only, guys.
Yeah.
So if I could like put $5 on like both teams getting a defensive touchdown and get like a 20-1 payout, make 100 off 5 or 400 off 20, whatever, I'm not going to say I feel safe doing it, but if there's any game this week that I can look at and say, you know what, I could see 2 defensive touchdowns happening here, it would be Zach Wilson throwing at the Cowboys defense and Dak Prescott, who led the league, I think, almost in interceptions while missing 5 games last year. Or he led in like interception rate or interceptions per throw or some kind of analytic number. Dak throws interceptions. Zach Wilson famously throws interceptions. The Jets' defense is good. They held their own with Zach Wilson and Mike White and whoever the hell they had to drag through last year's regular season. The Cowboys' defense, let's go. Right? Your thoughts?
So, and I'll tell you what, you think about that. That's both both defenses are strong, right? So no doubt about it. Cowboys defense absolutely showed exactly what they are made of. In prime time, clear as day, here we are, right? And New York Jets defense, same thing, showed exactly what they can do, and against Josh Allen. Like,
Yeah.
you can call it, whatever you want to call it with, the Madden curse and all that, just whatever, right? At the end of the day, the Jets defense showed up and they played well, right? So, I mean, when you can hold a Bills team to what was it, 13 points, right? No, 16 points. Yeah, because it was 22 to 16. 16 points,
Overtime.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you can do that, I mean, and let's not forget Mr. Gibson, right? And I had that written down. So I had a list written down from that Monday night game. I said Harty is a massive value. He's a mass value player, right? Like if you did, the showdown DFS, which I do all the time, he was a $200 player. He wasn't an optimal, but he could have absolutely went off. Gibson got a touchdown at the very end, and just a couple people you want to look at. And I specifically remember Sherfield playing Miami last year, did well, and then he's from San Francisco, correct?
Yes, he actually
So
caught Trey Lance's first career touchdown pass.
yeah, so he's a recycled player, but the whole thing is Josh Allen could absolutely figure out how to utilize him. So there's some interesting, and Diggs and Davis, obviously, right? We know those guys, but it's looking at the third string, fourth string gadget players. Sometimes it's those gadget players that pull it out for you, right?
Yeah, like the Cowboys have Cavante Turpin. He found the end zone.
Turpin, right? Yeah, absolutely. Yep, he sure did. So, Jordan Love, Jordan Love said, "I am a Green Bay Packer. We beat the Bears. That happened. I did not see the Bears losing that game, so I was off. I was
did.
way off on that game. I was completely on the other side. I gave Jordan Love 0% chance to win that game, and I was wrong.
They're all on fire. I took the Lions against the Chiefs. I took
Man,
The Lions won, right?
the Lions,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
The Lions.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the Lions?
I was like, this game's too obvious. Yeah.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Come on. Wow. Right? Impressive win. And the thing about that is they didn't even play great.
No.
Like Detroit, they played good. They didn't play great.
What's
going to happen if Detroit plays great? Like,
because
next.
Go ahead.
Gibbs wasn't even used that much. Like, he wasn't even utilized that much, right?
No, and you heard Dan Campbell say that they were warming Gibbs up, and now that he's got a game under his belt and a couple reps, we're going to pour him on, and they're going to, split carries down the middle because Gibbs was more efficient.
He was.
I'm pretty sure
absolutely.
Gibbs had 2 receptions for 18 and 7 rushes for 42 yards. Guys, we're all good at football math, right? 42 divided by 7 means 6, so 6 yards per carry.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. I'm not going to go look up Monty's and do the math on that, but I'm going to take a wild guess and say that Gibbs' yards per carry were higher. He's the DeAndre Swift.
Right. They have a good connection. They have a good complementary offense with their running backs, because Monty has always been get to, like, when you're at the 2-yard line, 3-yard line, 1-yard line,
pile of dust.
He's just gonna get in there, right?
Yeah.
He somehow finds a way to get in the end zone. He has a nose for the end zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Detroit needed that. They got that. right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, can he run between the 20s? Of course, obviously. I mean, David Montgomery was a star, and honestly,
Mm-hmm.
still is a star.
Still is.
From Chicago, like
Chicago.
we know, right? Detroit has something, and Dan Campbell has built this. They've built something. Now I
Culture.
know, they okay, they didn't have Kelsey and whatever. Kelsey, yes, he is a uh he's like a Madden player. Okay, I get that. All right, like he's a wide receiver that's a tight end. I understand, right? But at the end of the day, you still lost, right? Like,
Well, yeah.
ah,
I mean,
I don't
now
know.
we can lay the lion's share of the blame at one particular person's feet.
Hmm.
Poor Kadarius, who,
He
man,
just had a
good bro,
bad
those were
day.
bad drops. I know he's got good hands and I know he can ball, but bro, you cannot drop it hits you in the hands. You cannot drop that. You can't drop
Into a
that
pick
if you're an NFL
six.
player. And you also,
No,
when you drop 3 crucial passes like that, you also can't go roast your former team for getting whooped by the Cowboys.
no, no.
Delete your Twitter. Bring back your Twitter to tweet roasting your old team and then delete your Twitter again because you couldn't take the abuse you were getting on Twitter from dropping said passes however many nights before. So that's a whole nother thing. Can of worms. Not going to get too deep
Yeah.
into it.
No, no,
My
yeah,
hot
yeah, yeah.
my hot take: Dallas and the Jets is going to be closer than you think. Um, Dennis, shall we move along to opening packs? I got a
Let's
couple of
do it.
packs to open. Okay.
Go ahead, man. Absolutely.
All right. I'm going to start sharing my screen real quick for those of you watching, for those of you who are listening on the podcast. We And sorry, I'm talking while I'm sharing my screen, like while I'm going through the logistics of pressing buttons. For those of you who listen on the podcast, I am going to go ahead and just call it out for you and try to make it as uh, audibly entertaining as I possibly can. So here we go. Packs, and you can see the whole window and all the tabs, right? Like if I switch
Oh
here, you
yeah.
can see that.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I will show you this. This is my lineup later. I'll show you that in a minute. For now, we're gonna a one card open. These are the ones I won for the. This is a weekly contest. Okay, you can go in your lobby and we'll either I'll share my screen or Dennis will do it. One of us will do it before in case you don't know about this. There's a weekly contest where you literally just enter, and I like put all my injured players in there, or like Jake Hayner or the Boo Boo Crew. These extra cards I have. If this is a bad card, they're going in that lineup. And you literally, just for making the lineup, you win a card. Everybody wins. If you're not doing those, I highly recommend doing them. You don't have to, obviously, but I love free stuff for doing nothing. And that's basically what this is. So with that said, I'm opening the pack. And I'm going to do a quick reveal. And it is who? He's going in
Jelani
there,
Wood.
buddy. Jelani Woods. And you know what? We might know his name by the end of the year. He's a tight end for Indianapolis. And that is a team who is notorious for using 7 tight ends per game.
Absolutely.
They got
And
Mo Alley
Anthony
Cox.
Richardson.
Ever
Man.
since Dallas Clark left. Yeah. So, all right, guys, here's pack number 2. First pack was Jelani Woods, tight end, Indianapolis. I don't know if he's a rookie off the top of my head. His name sounds familiar. So
It sounds
anyway,
familiar. I think he played last year. I
opening
think he
card
did.
number 2. Tucker Kraft with a K. Is he related? He is a tight end for the Green Bay Packers. I don't know if he's related to Robert Kraft. You guys feel free to Google that. It is Kraft, like the ketchup.
Hmm.
I think Robert Kraft is he ketchup, people? I thought he was. I don't know. I thought when you're that rich, I just assume you own like a tenth of the food in the United
Kraft, like you
States.
talking about like macaroni?
Like Kraft Heinz, like Kraft Foods. Is that not the Patriots Robert Kraft? Kraft?
I believe so. Yeah, I think
I
it
would
is.
think so. I could be wrong. I could be
Mm-hmm.
right. Who knows? Anyway, we've opened the packs. One was Jelani Woods. One was Kraft. You know what, guys? I don't know. And now we're moving along to my deep roster 10K cash 1K to first Thursday through Monday. Kicks off in 20 hours and 48 minutes at time of recording. And you'll notice I have a couple favorites. You might notice a couple themes going here. For quarterback, I'm going with Trevor Lawrence, the Prince. I don't know if none of us are real crazy about his last week's performance, but I have a feeling that he is going to play his way into shape, as many will. We saw a lot of unders in week one. We saw some, shall we call it, disappointing offensive performances.
Disappointing.
Looking at you, Giants.
Looking at you, Burrow.
Oh my gosh, yes. Thank God I didn't draft him. My opponent had Burrow. Praise be. I got Trevor Lawrence in the quarterback spot. I have one superstar that I'm limited to, and I think DraftKings, just an aside here, you guys need to be a little bit more selective. We need to file down, or we need to have superstar tiers, and you need to have like a tier 1 superstar and then like a tier 2 superstar. So you would have like, or like a wide receiver. You would have them down to like position superstars, where you could have like one wide receiver superstar in and one running back superstar in, and something where I can't just like, when I put Derrick Henry in, I'm kissing like all these other players goodbye that would make a great lineup.
Gone.
Anyway,
Yep.
Rant over. Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. Derrick Henry at running back is my one superstar. Ramondre Stevenson against the Miami Dolphins at running back.
It.
As you can see here, for those of you watching, for our YouTube audience, I have doubled up on Philadelphia Eagles, which, as a Cowboys fan, I'm not super proud of. But hey, man, the Eagles are good. What am I going to do? All right, I got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith at receiver.
Like it both. Yeah.
Both going against a Minnesota defense that I have never been thrilled with. Next, we have Hunter Henry at the tight end spot, again, against Miami. So I've got Ramondre Stevenson and Hunter Henry against Miami. And I've got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith against Minnesota. All right, and then at kicker, I've got Riley Patterson against the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Lions are going to see quite a bit of the end zone.
Yes.
I also like Gibbs this week. Dan Campbell says he's on tap for more.
I like Gibbs.
For defense, I'm not crazy about Justin Fields' ability to read defenses and throw the ball accurately and on time where it needs to go. I think the Bucs still have a pretty good defense, and the combination of the Bucs defense and Justin Fields still, let's say, developing as a passer.
He is. He's developing.
That's could fair. Be a great recipe for the host Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Another thing I noticed last week is that Baker Mayfield doesn't look like a washed up bum that the NFL chewed up and spit out. With that said, in my flex, I have Mike Evans at receiver.
Love it.
I think perhaps he could. It's not a long shot to say he could find the end zone again. So to wrap, Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. And you guys know their positions. I don't need to say this. You guys all watch football, okay? Trevor Lawrence, Derrick Henry, Ramondre Stevenson, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Hunter Henry, Riley Patterson, Antoine Winfield Jr., Mike Evans. Another thing, and I don't know this off the top of my head, throwing a nugget out there, and then I'll flip this thing back over to you, Dennis. Antoine Winfield Jr., his father was a Minnesota Viking. If I'm not mistaken, who'd Tampa play last week?
Minnesota.
Did he get an interception?
Man, honestly, I don't know off the top of my head.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll circle back. Anyway, interesting little nugget of knowledge, guys. Watch for little things like this. When someone's dad played on a team and the son goes and plays against that team, Another thing, there's something else that's happening. Someone's playing against their old team this week. Dennis, you might be able to guess who it is. I just remembered who it is. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to flip over to you. But someone, a tight end, is playing against their old team this week, and two of his teammates were just in my lineup. I'll give you that hint. I'll give you 5 seconds.
Oh.
Mike Gesicki.
Oh, yeah.
So Mike Gesicki was on the
Oh.
Miami Dolphins last year. He's on the New England Patriots this year. The New England Patriots are going. No, the Miami Dolphins are going to Mike Gesicki's new house in New England, and
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones looks okay. Hunter Henry looked good last week, and so if they're looking at tape and they're looking at Hunter Henry, maybe Mike Gesicki gets loose. Could
As a
be
revenge
something
game.
there. Mike Gesicki's flown the F under the radar.
Way under.
Like way under the radar. I'm
I agree.
actually like I'm looking to pick him up in my regular league right now where we have to like do the waiver wire thing. Yeah, anyway, I like Mike Gesicki. Tight end whisperer Thomas. That's my thing, right? And with
That is
that,
your thing, man.
and with that, Dennis, I'm passing the torch to you, brother.
All right, let's do it. So, all right. So for last week, I have one pack to open. So, and I was all over the place. Let's do. Let's share my screen here. Share screen, and we're going to do window right here. Okay, guys. So let's talk about a few different things here. So first off, we'll go ahead and get that one card out of the way because it's just been staring at me. So let's see who we get.
Yeah, and then
Just
show
real
us
fast.
your showdown lineup real quick, or at least tell us what it is before we move on to the
Absolutely.
lines. Yeah.
Rashad Penny
Woo, doggy.
plays tomorrow night. I mean,
I like him.
dude, that's great to have in the line. Okay.
Yes.
Um,
Now, if he can stay healthy,
yeah, absolutely. I like it, man. Definitely worth it. All right, so let's go into showdown. Let's talk about tomorrow night. So we have the Minnesota Vikings going to Philadelphia on Thursday Night Football, Amazon Prime. And last year, this same exact game happened on Monday night, and it wasn't even close. So Kirk Cousins during the day, fantastic. Kirk Cousins prime time, forget about it. So here's my thoughts about how this is going to work and how this is going to go down. So I'm going to do the showdown lineup for the week. Okay. Now this stems from number one, Hurts didn't really have a great game last week. He had a good game. No, you know what? He had an okay game. He had an okay game, but he didn't have a Jalen Hurts game. Okay. And he knows it. Everyone knows it. Could we call it the rain, and everything like that? Like it was a mess in the Northeast last week, right? So when we think about this, so we're just going to go to, was it game sets, right? Game sets. And DraftKings overall for the Rainmakers, the user interface is getting better. It's getting a lot cleaner. It still needs some work, but it's getting cleaner.
I need an app on mobile, please, guys, for the love of God.
Absolutely.
Stop taking me to browser and out of the
Yep.
app every time I click the Rainmakers button. And Dennis,
Correct.
Antoine Winfield Jr. forced a fumble and recovered the fumble against his dad's old team last week. Just wanted to follow up on that. I did check that out for you.
Okay, well there you go. So that's it's that type of information, right? And
Little
we're
nuggets.
gonna share some more information that if you see my screen up there, you already see it as a tab, but we'll talk about it in just a second. So we're gonna draft, and
little
just gonna
Easter
check my
egg.
location. Okay, for my captain, none other than Jalen Hurts. He is going to go off.
If you're in Pennsylvania, we apologize that you're not. Wait, you're not? You couldn't do Rainmakers when you're at the Eagles game, right?
No,
When you're at the link? How you like
no.
that?
It was just a big old mess. I was like, well, I am not happy. So I was happy, but I wasn't happy because of I couldn't.
You
Wouldn't
tried
work
to get
as
me
of
to
right
fix it
now.
for you
Yeah, and it was just
from
like this thing is broken. Like
from
this,
Florida, and then you got like
yeah,
locked out and flagged.
yeah, just a
Oh
big old
God.
mess. So I was like, okay, you know what, this doesn't work. So I just wrote him a letter and said, clearly I have no idea what I'm doing, and here we go. So
All right.
yeah, yeah. So let's go
Jalen Hurts.
to. So Jalen Hurts is the captain. Okay.
Love it.
And then I picked up number one, which if you guys followed at all last year, I tied for first last year, and it's when I had Kelsey and Diggs in my lineup at the same time. I tied for first. That's very hard to do. Okay, and it wasn't a showdown. It was like it was a Sunday game. It was just like week 2 or something. No, I guess it would have been like week 8, right? Because when we started, right? Week 8, week 9, which we do really good with those 8 to like 14 weeks, by the way.
Yeah.
So just traditionally, that's been our thing. So okay, we bring that back. So let's get back on track here. Additions. If you can get the lowest addition, and it's not out of the budget, if you think that you have a chance of winning it, especially in a showdown, do it. Well, obviously it's for entertainment purposes only.
No.
But
What we
if
do
you
is get the
right,
lowest number that we possibly can.
I try to
I
get the
search.
lowest number possible.
Yeah, I search by
Mm-hmm.
edition low, and then I find
Yep.
like the most reasonable price. And now they made it to where you can toggle it. You
Yep.
can like go through all sets instead of like just the play action or just the field pass set or just the boost. Whatever. We'll get into that. We'll get into that can of worms another
Yeah.
day. But
And they've done well.
for now, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Sort by
So
edition low and look for something that isn't extortionately priced because
I was
people
able
people
to
be tripping on there sometimes, man.
I think I was able to pick up number one for like $15. I was like, you know what? If it wins it and it wins the the $1,000, it's well worth it, right? So we're gonna open this up, and then we also got number 12. I think I picked this up for like $5. Reddick, okay. And again with defense, guys, if this is your first year playing or you're not really understanding why people choose defense and all this, the thing is with defense is it doesn't matter who it is. And it doesn't matter if they're out, they're injured, it means nothing. Because when you choose defense, you choose the entire defense. You choose as if it's in your fantasy lineup for, Yahoo or ESPN or NFL, whatever you do your fantasy lineups on, or if you do your DFS through DraftKings, the same exact thing. It chooses the entire defense. So I'm going double defense here. I think Hurts is going to have an awesome game. And then I think the Philadelphia Eagles defense is going to say, "Hi, how you doing? Welcome back to Philly, Minnesota. You're doing nothing today, right?" So now, with that being said, I do believe that they could move the ball. Okay, so the question is, and this is what I'm kind of going back and forth, man. Do I want Greg Joseph, the kicker, or do I want to go ahead and put Osborne in there? Here's the reason why, right? Slay is going to be on Justin Jefferson. Okay.
JJ,
Bradbury is going to be on
the Addison kid.
Addison. Okay. Osborne is the slot. The more I think about it, I think, man, they may not even get a touchdown. So, and they might.
Come on now.
I don't know, man. I don't know. They may, but I mean, it was 24-7 last year, and there was no points scored in the second half.
Tell you what, regardless of whether or not they get a touchdown, Greg Joseph is going to be probably clocking in.
Man.
So, flip it. You know what? Flip a coin, Dennis. This isn't a time for decisions. This is a time for chance.
I got a coin. All right. So heads we're doing Joseph, tails we're doing Osborne.
There you go.
And it's tails.
There you go. KJ.
It's tails. KJ it is. That just happened.
There we go. Oh,
Okay.
the cards
So
are
that's
pretty
coming
this
up.
year. God, look at that.
Yeah, I do like how they did the cards. And we talked about it, right? Because it's like little puzzle pieces, right? So then this
Yeah.
next year is it going to be circles and try like
Who knows, man?
who knows, bro? Who knows? So we're gonna go submit this lineup. I like it. Hurts 2 defense, and Osborne because he's the slot and
Right.
he can get by. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I think that's how that's gonna work. So pretty confident about that. So okay.
All right. So you were going over some lines. There you go. Yep.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and go over and again, so I'm going to refresh. This is Wednesday night, okay?
Yeah.
Wednesday night
So
at 11:40 Eastern, okay? So with that being said, a lot of this is going to change on like early Sunday morning, late Saturday night, especially Sunday morning. Just
like
what
we
happens, okay?
can get an okay look at the Thursday game right now. We're
Mm-hmm.
really gonna get and to you I mean, to us honestly we really get the best looks at all of these games within like an hour of game time
Bingo. That's right.
because
That's
that's when
exactly right.
the people who all care about their respective team are gonna be like, oh, my game's about to come on, let me look at the line movement, or there's the people that already they caught it early, and now you got the I don't know if they're the degens or some of them are the sharps. Everybody gets in, man. So it's when the
Yeah.
game's coming up, everybody got a couple of beers and I'm like, yeah, put 20 on that. Vikings gonna win. Talk a little trash in the garage, cracking their 17th Miller Lite or what have you.
Mm-hmm. So we have, and I'm looking at this. So when we looked at this about 30 minutes ago, they were at 128,000 bets. They're at 140. So this is 147,000 and some change bets
Woo!
on this one game. So when we unpack this and we look at it, okay. So it was a switch here. Remember, there was more on Philly by 7, right? Which I liked
Yes.
anyway. Okay,
Seven
and
and a
you did
half,
too.
wasn't it? Was it
Yeah,
7.5?
it was 7.5. It was 7.5.
So that's
Right?
we got line movement. Yeah.
Line movement. That's exactly right. So overall, the thought is that it's going to be a closer game. It's not. Okay. Plus 6.5, and then I don't understand this other than the fact that maybe people are worried about the minus 258. Whatever, right? It's gambling. It's entertainment. You choose what you want. Anything can happen. But
Just piss it.
77% on plus 220, I can't buy it, man. Philly does not lose this game. And I think Philly actually covers this game. I know I'm an Eagles fan. I get it. Been that since 91. Biased, whatever. We literally have 5 Georgia Bulldogs from the last 2 years on our defensive roster.
I heard those teams were pretty good, Dennis.
The what?
I heard those Georgia Bulldogs teams they might have been pretty good.
Golly, yes, man. Oh my gosh. I mean, seriously, right? So with that being said, if you my picks for tomorrow is Eagles definitely win. I'm not worried about the minus 250, 258. Lay the point, so minus 6.5. And honestly, if it bumps up for whatever reason to minus 7.5, it's not going to be a close game. It's going to be fun to watch because it's going to be exactly what the America expect to see out of Philadelphia after whatever we saw last week with New England in that rainy mess. Okay, it's going to be exactly what you expect to see is what's going to happen.
If it is a close game, I think it would be because there's either a slow first half and then it becomes not a close game in the second half, or the Eagles just blow the doors off them out of the gate and then take their foot off the gas and put Nate Sudfeld. I don't even know who the backup quarterback is.
Like some type of backup like some type of backup.
Yeah, if the Eagles take their foot off the pedal, like
Oh
9
yeah,
minutes in the third quarter, and they're like, "We've made our point. We can just kick field goals and mail this thing in." And then the
yeah.
Vikings say, "Okay, we got something for you," and maybe they get 10 points on the Eagles' defense, and it's like 28-18 or something weird like that.
I like the under 49 here. I know that most of the country is thinking it's going to be an over game because there was so much under last week. It's not going to happen. It's going to be an under game. I'm sitting Justin Jefferson this week, so if I am not going to have him in my DFS at all. He didn't do well against Slay last week or last year, and honestly, it's going to be a repeat, man. If you look at if you were to I forgot the website. I used to look at it all the time, but if you look at what these players do against the teams that they played against on a consistent basis,
Is
a
it
lot of times, what is it?
Stat Muse?
That's it. StatMuse. Yeah. StatMuse. So a lot of times when I'm getting ready to choose a player for my DFS or even in my Rainmakers, I look at what that player has done, especially if it's division. Now, obviously the Eagles and Vikings are not in the same division, but
They see each other.
they literally played each other last year, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be a walloping. Philly is going to crush Minnesota. All right. So now, next game. Chiefs, Jaguars. It is Patrick Mahomes' birthday on Sunday. Patrick Mahomes, the face of the NFL, regardless what happened Thursday night, okay? The face of the NFL, it's his birthday on Sunday. He's going to go absolute bonkers, all right? Given what I'm seeing here, I will tell you that this is probably going to be, and you know what? I see this over 51 at 96%. I'm buying the public on this one. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think Kansas City and Jacksonville are going to give everybody what they want. And where Vegas is going to make the money is it's going to be the plus 3.5 right here because Kansas City is going to win by a field goal. That's it. Or they may win by 2. It'd be some random, who knows, right? Or miss an extra point or just something is going to cause it to hit this plus 3.5. I'm absolutely buying the Jags plus 3.5, and Kansas City is going to win on Patrick Mahomes' birthday. They're not going to go down 0-2. Okay, it's going to be 1-1. And the Jags are going to be 1-1 as well. They obviously beat the Colts last week, and at the end, that was a crazy game. I do like the over here. So even though it's 96%, it doesn't scare me. Over unders when it comes to football, they don't frighten me because there's no juice. It's it's minus 110, minus 110. It's it is what it is. I mean, there's juice, but it's not like some, oh my gosh, right? It's not minus 180 and plus 140. It's not that type of game. With the as far as the money line, Kansas City is going to do what they do. Kelsey's coming back. Everybody's like, it's not going to be close. It's going to be close because it's going to be a good game. Jacksonville is here to stay. They are a good football team. Okay. What do you think about that?
I think don't forget what. One, I think Trevor Lawrence might have gotten off to a slow start, but he's no joke for sure. And don't forget what Doug Peterson did with the Eagles when he was over there. So he's a real coach. Jacksonville showed us last year that they can play, and I think this is one of those teams that takes a little step forward every year. So I really wouldn't expect them to get blown out, regardless of who they play.
Correct.
I think they're going to be a relatively sound team.
It's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a back and forth. I'm actually going to wind up stacking them in my DFS. I'm going to stack that game in my DFS and be completely satisfied and okay with it. So
we're gonna have to sort of cover these a little quickly. We're knocking on 45 here.
Let's do it. So all right, between Raiders and Bills, everybody is saying it's going to be a blowout with Buffalo. looking at this, man, I can't buy that 98%. I can't buy the -8.5 at 98. I can't do it. I can't do it. Raiders actually showed that they can play. It wasn't great, but guess what? Buffalo wasn't great either. So can they fix it in 1 week? Oh, it's in Buffalo and all this other stuff, and the home crowd, and I get it, but I just don't. I'm not buying the -8.5 for Buffalo. I think that with the Raiders, I think the +9.5 or whatever it winds up being. It keeps switching. Anyway. +9.5, +8.5. I think the plus is good on the Raiders. I think they're going to keep it close. They could potentially pull out the victory. This -395 is always scary to me because I mean that's high. 75-25, sure, that'd be an upset, right? And it is football. Upsets happen. I definitely like the plus whatever it's going to be with the Raiders, potentially beating them at home. Potentially Raiders money line. Ravens Bengals. You know, I don't even know about this one, man. I think that it's going to be a good game. I know the Bengals and Ravens played each other very close last year. Don't get me lying. What was it, 1-1, or somebody like missed a field goal or something? I think the Ravens beat them twice, I think is what it was. I think that's what happened. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be close. It's in Cincinnati. Obviously Burrow after last week has something to, prove. But here's what's good. Both these guys got paid. Burrow and Jackson both got paid. I don't know. We'll unpack this later on. I've got to look at this game a little closer. I don't really know how to call it. Chargers Titans. Not sure, to be honest with you. Seahawks Lions. I will tell you this. I think the Lions are going to go in, or they're at home, and the Lions are going to blow the doors off Seattle. So this -5 plus 5.5, whatever, it's going to be -5, -10. Honestly, I'd probably buy even though it doesn't make sense, probably -10.5 on this game. I think the Lions are going to absolutely come to play. They're going to show what they do. They're playing on their home field. It's Ford Field. It's a very fast field. Could absolutely be, I don't know about a lot of points. It should be, but I do like the Lions to win this game and cover whatever it is, -5, -6, whatever it may be. Colts and Texans. Just give me the Colts. Just give me the Colts. I think Richardson's going to go down to Houston, take care of business, and do what the Colts normally do to Houston. Houston is not there yet. I know DeMarco. DeMarco Ryans. He's going to figure it out, but Stroud has a lot of work to do. Clearly,
Yeah.
And it's going to be a battle of the rookies, and it's a lot of people are going to talk about it. I think Richardson is going to come out ahead.
So Richardson, I think, has a coaching advantage. Their Indy's head coach. Sorry, Indy's head coach is Philadelphia's old offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Go back, look at what he did with Jalen Hurts. Look at where he was before that. I think it was LA. Look how Justin Herbert was 2 or 3 years ago. Look what happened when he left. You get the same thing with Brian Daboll leaving Josh Allen. These are the kinds of little things they do matter. Got to pay attention to. What I will also say, and I know it's early, I think people got a little too high on the Seahawks last year, and they got a little too low on the Rams. I think those are going to be, I think the Rams they feel organizationally a little bit more equipped to make adjustments, and I trust their quarterback a little bit more. I like Detroit in that game, but watch out for maybe the Rams coming in above Seattle in that division. And if Jahmyr Gibbs gets 6 yards a carry again and gets more carries, then watch out. But yeah, as far as that goes,
I like Gibbs in that game. I
I
do
like
like
the
Gibbs.
Colts for that reason
Yeah.
too. I think we're
Hmm.
going to keep, the Texans are going to continue being the pinata of the NFL for a little while longer.
Yep. Yep. Um, agree. Packers Falcons. I am not on Atlanta this year. Like
Nope.
I just and we
You know
talked
what
about
though?
this in the. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Kyle Pitts, I'm not even going to say anything about that. He's there. I hope he has a better season than he does last year. He's certainly a great athlete. I saw that at the University of Florida. We saw everybody saw Bijan Robinson last week. Y'all saw that. He can do stuff. Their quarterback, Desmond Ritter, he's I think he's all right. I never look at his performances and say, ooh, I don't know. And
Hmm.
I'm never blown away. I think he's, he could be a serviceable guy that if you get a good running game going, you'll be okay, and you can kind of slide in the middle of that division and maybe fight for a wild card spot if things break your way. But I think Jordan Love has the support of the organization there. Jordan Love is not being asked to do a lot. Jordan has a great running game. He's got a couple of good wide
Yes, he
receivers.
does.
He's got a great offensive line. He has several seconds to sit back there and pat the ball. Their defense is, I want to say, slightly above average, if not
Green Bay. Yeah.
well above, like top third of the league, perhaps fringe. I'm gonna have to do a little digging on that one. We'll see how the year unfolds.
Sounds about right.
But
Sounds about right. I've got them on my
guys,
bench. Yeah.
Green Bay's all right. The Falcons are all right. But at the end of the day, I think Green Bay's in a position to be more 2016 Dak Prescott, but like a conservative version of the 2016 Cowboys. And the Falcons are in a position to be entertaining, but at the end of the day, continue being the Atlanta Falcons.
Right. Yeah. 100%. So Packers Falcons. Packers win this game convincingly. I think the -1 is just, I don't know. I would put that at like probably 3. But then again, it's early in the season and people aren't trusting Love yet. I don't know, man. He looked pretty good to me last week, so he definitely shocked me. So let's see what he's got. I think Packers take it in Atlanta.
One thing I
As
will
far as
note,
over under, I have no idea about this game, so I'm not even gonna
yeah, and
leave
guys,
that alone.
we're gonna go further into this thing on Saturday night or Sunday or whatever. But
Hmm.
one thing I will note is that for those of you who are new, like very new to the betting world, teams get 3 points just for being at home. So if this game Atlanta favored by 1, they're saying it's because you're in Mercedes Benz. If this is played, let's say they take this game, something happens and the power goes out. They have some weird thing that happens in Atlanta, right? And they say, "Oh, guys, we got to move the game to like Kansas City or some stadium where the team's not playing at the time," right?
Hmm.
And they move it to a neutral site. The line automatically shifts to Falcons +2. You
Yep.
then take that game to Lambeau. Like, let's say something else happens last resort. Oh my God, we've got to move the game to Lambeau. The Packers will now be favored by 5. Sorry, 3 minus
Yeah. -1 +1.
-1 3
So it'd
point
be
swing
four
+2
or
Falcons. Falcons would be +5. If this game was in Lambeau, it would be I think a 6 point swing the other way, right? It would be 3 for a neutral site and another 3 for Green Bay home, right? It's not 3 for Green Bay being the home team, would it?
yeah. So it would be so right now Packers are favored by 1, so they'd be favored by 4
Or it might be a
if it
one and a
was.
half point swing for a neutral site and a 3 point swing for Green Bay being.
That sounds right.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
right.
It can be.
Yeah.
I don't know, but anyway, guys, that's kind of how it works. So that's also another little nugget to just keep in mind. But yeah,
Mhm.
Bears Bucks,
Mhm.
Dennis.
Yeah, Bears Bucks. All right. So Bears completely underwhelmed me. I don't know what's going on in Chicago. Bucks, they did it. They beat Minnesota. And the thing is, Minnesota should overall have a good year this year. But I'm buying the Bucks here. So this -2.5 at 8%. I don't care if this drops down to 75 and 25 or 16-40. I'm still buying the -2.5. So laying the points for the Bucks and definitely to win. And here you can look at this. 87% of the money is on +122 on the Bears to win in Tampa Bay, and 92% of the money is on +2.5. So these coincide with each other. Give me the Bucks and give me the Bucks to win by 2.5. So Giants Cardinals. Giants, I have no idea why they are favored to win. This is a mess. This right here, this -235 and -5.5. Apparently they didn't. Maybe they did, and they're like it's going to be completely different in a dome. Whatever, man. I'm not buying it. Cardinals defense is going to just eat all day. I think Cardinals win this game. This +5.5 is definitely good, and this +210. Honestly, give me the money line for the Cardinals. I think they're going to take care of business in the desert. So 49ers Rams. I think me and you are a little bit different on this side, and I'm good with that. I think the 49ers are going to absolutely take care of business in Los Angeles at SoFi. 49ers look midseason form. I know it was against Steelers. Steelers are going to be a good team this year. They should. Okay. In midseason form, absolutely dominated. I have no reason to believe that that's going to be any different. Give me the Niners by like 10, easily 10. So I know it's division game, so 9.5 is probably where I would go at the max, especially not being home. But again, 49ers have beaten the Rams, I think, for the last 6 times in a row. And so they definitely win, okay? It shouldn't happen. No, it will. The 49ers are better than the Rams, regardless of Vegas, regardless of the levels. It doesn't matter. Some things just don't matter when you know football and you know the way it's going to work. 49ers are going to stomp the Rams this week. So over under, not too sure. Can't call it. I don't know how the Rams are going to play. I know the 49ers are going to score points and they're going to win and give me the -7.5. Give me -8.5 if it goes to that level. So -9.5, honestly, I'll take it as well. I know that they're going to win and they're going to win big. Commanders Ravens. Commanders Broncos. I don't know. I don't want to touch it. I don't know. It's because there's not enough history on these teams together. Commanders got that, the new blood in there. Broncos got the new blood in there. Honestly, I am Xing this game. I'm not
Yeah, it's
touching
just
it.
a
I'm
weird.
not
It's a no
touching any of the
touch.
players. I'm
Mm-hmm.
literally leaving everybody out of that game. I don't want any of them.
Yeah, you got like Jahan Dotson on Patrick Surtain. I mean, the only thing I will say about that game is Curtis Samuel could see some action, but that's fantasy related, and we'll get into that. That's a whole other can of worms. We'll get into that this weekend.
Jets Cowboys.
Hot take.
-450. Tom.
I already told y'all about that.
God,
I already told y'all about that. I have a funny guys. Look, I've been a Cowboys fan my whole life. I was there, guys. If we could cue some music up, some sentimental. I was there for the glory days. I was there for Jimmy. I was there for Dion. I was there for Charles Haley. You know what, man? The Cowboys, they will put a smile on your face when you're least expecting it. And then when you're on top of the world and you're riding high and you think we're just going to just hand us a Lombardi trophy and let's not even bother playing the rest of the season. They roll their helmets out there and have an uncomfortably close game with the Aaron Rodgers-less Jets. So, just as a lifelong Cowboys fan, I just have a funny, sneaking suspicion. Feel free to ignore it. And that's all I'm going to say. I talked about it at the top of the show. I'll probably talk about it a little bit more on Saturday. And yeah.
This line scares the hell out of me. And we've only got 19,000 bets. We've got 19,000 bets, and we're not on Sunday yet. It's probably going to be over 100,000. if we're over 100,000 and this is still sitting in the 90s at minus 450, Tom, everything goes like it shouldn't happen, and that's why it absolutely will happen.
I tell you what else, guys. If you
Ugh,
can get like a 1,000 to 1 odds on Randall Cobb taking a snap as quarterback,
sure.
I'll stop. I'll stop. I'll stop.
Jeez, like something about this game at plus 350 with 7%, if that's anything under 10%, I mean, it shouldn't happen. Like, there's no way there is, by football terminology and understanding what we just saw on Sunday and Monday night, there is no reason why the New York Jets can beat the Dallas Cowboys. However, this is football. This is an entertainment sport. Okay? Things happened. And at minus 450, I cannot take the Cowboys here. If it was 50-50 all day long, if it was 70-30, sure. 90% and up, can't do it. I'm either taking the Jets or I'm not taking the game at all. And this right here tells me I'm taking the Jets. That hurts to say it because it shouldn't happen. But again, this is what happens.
Yeah, and
All right.
oh, what else was I saying? I don't know. I forgot. It'll come back to me this weekend.
It'll come back. It'll come back. And we'll be able to touch on that game on Saturday night or Saturday or whatever and be like, all right, here's where we are, right? Or if we do Sunday morning, whatever it is, we're going to look at it and be like, I remember where we were. It hasn't changed. I can't.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So what I kind of like to do sometimes here with what was the Jets are plus 350 or something.
Yeah.
I just put a little chunk of change on the Jets. What I would do, I'd put a little chunk of change on the Jets,
100%.
and then just in case we get like a Duke Clemson situation for those of you who watched that absolute what storm last week. I saw a guy in a Duke hat at a beer festival the next day. When I was at a beer festival in Fort Lauderdale while Colorado was beating the crap out of Nebraska, and I looked at this guy in the Duke hat. I said, "You know what you did to me last? You know what y'all did to me? Clemson was supposed to." Guys, I can't go off on this tangent right now, but what I will say is, if I were to put a little chunk of change on the Jets, because I'm not telling anybody else what to do here, and once stuff gets weird, if stuff gets uncomfortably close, the Cowboys are either going to get a really small minus or get a plus. And then once the Cowboys get a plus, you hit that plus on the other side, arbitraging. If the Jets just get smoked, if the Cowboys just run away, we get a repeat of Giants-Cowboys. Kiss your money goodbye. That was it. You thought, we tried to be funny. I tried to put some money on a plus 350. It didn't work out. Oh, well, that's the nature of the beast. But if that game gets close and the Cowboys, we're mid-third quarter and the Jets are up 17-13 or something weird happens and you're starting to see like plus 130 on Cowboys, I'm hitting it, bro. And if the Cowboys win, I net $30. And if the Jets win, I net $250 or whatever. But I'm Gucci either way. And that's what I would do with that. So moving along.
Smart.
Dolphins, Patriots.
I like it. Dolphins, Patriots. Yep. So Dolphins, Patriots. Going to be a good game. Sunday Night Football. Definitely looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a good one. I actually like it being a very close game here. And so actually give me the Patriots plus 3. I don't care what these lines say. I saw how they played against Philadelphia last week. And the thing is, the Dolphins should win here. They should win. But Bill Belichick is going to take away Tyreek Hill. I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's going to
try.
So, with that being said, give me the Patriots. Patriots to win the game. So, plus 135 I like. Have no idea about over or under. And give me the Patriots plus 3. So, Tyreek Hill, I would not start him. I can't.
I'm starting him. For the record, I am
He's the
starting
number
him.
one player on Miami.
I'm starting him.
Bill Belichick will pull him out of the game.
We'll see
He
about
will
that.
take him out. I don't know how he's
Challenge
going to do it,
accepted.
but he will take him out.
What I can tell you is the only fantasy football entity that outscored Tyreek Hill last week was the Dallas
Cowboys
defense.
defense.
And y'all know what
Crazy.
happened there. So 49 to 33 for non-PPR leagues.
Crazy.
Dallas Cowboys versus Tyreek Hill. Thank God the guy I was playing didn't have the Dallas defense. And also he drafted Joe Burrow. Mwah, mwah. I was thanking my lucky stars.
Whoops.
I was up by 5 when the Jets defense was about to play, and I was like, do I take the guaranteed win and bench the Jets just in case they get torched? I did. Jets defense ended up with 20 points against the Bills. That's why my hot take is coming in with I think the Jets can hold their own against. Is the Cowboys defense that good? Yes. Is the Cowboys defense special teams that good? Yes. Is the Cowboys offense that good? I'm not sure they have a number one receiver. I love CeeDee Lamb. He's good. He's not like I didn't even love Amari Cooper. But guys, that's a story for another day. A prime Des Bryant isn't walking through that door. A playmaker, Michael Irvin, isn't walking through that door. I mean, we're gonna have to dig somebody up. I don't know if y'all got somebody hiding on the scout team, or if we got a Kelsey somewhere in the ranks of our tight ends. Guys, I don't know. I haven't seen anything from the Cowboys that makes me think that they are going to light up the world this year. I think that we're gonna do a lot of running. We're gonna dial back on the passing. We're gonna play offense conservatively and basically treat Dak like Jordan Love. Be like, look, man, you don't have to pull the team to victory. You don't have to win this thing because they've shown. You watch how they scheme. Man, this is such a rant. I can't uncork this all right now. But you watch the Cowboys games and you tell me, you guys in the comments, you tell me how much that organization trusts Dak Prescott with the plays they call and with the game plan they have. Tell me what you see.
I agree. Yep.
Saints Panthers.
Think could be more of a game manager. We're gonna find out though. We'll see.
And
right.
You know what? With that defense, he can Trent Dilfer his way to the Super Bowl because Trent Dilfer did.
Yep.
And Brad Johnson. I'm pretty sure. Did Brad Johnson? Did Rich Gannon? Guys, look that up. We'll look it up. Brad Johnson, Rich Gannon, Trent Dilfer. There are guys that are pretty good quarterbacks, right? They're not Mahomes. They're not Burrow. They're not Herbert. They're not Manning. They're not Brady. They win Super Bowls. This kind of thing happens, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Moving along.
All right, Saints Panthers. Give me Derek Carr, man. I'm see him doing great things in a Saints uniform. Just in general, you're going against You're going against a
horrible defense,
rookie quarterback, from Alabama, which, to be clear, Bryce Young is good, okay? And I think he's going to be just fine. But Saints, they're too much for this team. They're going to go in there. They're going to take care of business. They're going to cover the spread. It's not going to be anything like that. I don't know about the over-under, and honestly, I'm not the over-under. The fact that most games were under last week really just bothered me. Okay, it just bothered me. But I guess it is what it is. It's the first week of the season, so it happens. But the Saints are going to win. I'll tell you, Jamal Williams. Hey man, if you saw what Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson, did to that Panthers defense, probably going to continue. So give me Jamal Williams in a flex spot this week. I think he's going to do fantastic. Saints win the game. Steelers Browns. Big old rivalry here, right? Obviously for good reason. I don't know how to call this game yet. Steelers absolutely unimpressed last week. Browns can be the Browns. Granted, it's a different cast of characters, so we're going to see how that's going to play out. I don't know how to call this one. I think that let's see, the Browns are 1-0, right? Steelers are 0-1. I could see. You know what? I don't know. I'd have to flip a coin here. So I see the 12% and 88%, but 125 plus 115. It's not really that massive of a category for me. I don't really know how this game is going to go. So Steelers are at home. Can they play better? I like Pickens for sure. They could pull it out, but I'm not going to. This is a game I'm not going to touch as far as right now. So
Yeah, these lines are going to move a lot too, guys.
they are.
So
They are.
especially Saints, Panthers, and Browns, Steelers. I mean, we're not going to be able to get a good beat on this till an hour before game time. So
right.
we're kind of like just showing you our thought process right now. And on that note,
that's it.
We're gonna step aside, guys. It's been 70 minutes of pulse pounding, riveting NFL rainmakers on the Polygon Network. Oh boy, just a lot of things, a lot of exciting things in store for the next year or so. Watch out for the next bull run, man. We can get into all kinds of stuff on this show.
We can get
honestly.
all types of stuff, man. All types of stuff.
Yeah, we could just go
dabble
completely
in it all,
off the
guys.
rails. Yeah, we are complete degenerates.
Hey, what is it? Hey, it's all a simulation, Tom. It's all a simulation. So take that as you will. Okay. But there's a lot of information out there, and it's time to get those W's. I'm ready.
Yeah. So
guys,
we'll see y'all on the weekend. Sorry, Dennis. What?
Yeah, make all the money you can. If you're it's entertainment purposes only. Only use what you can
afford to lose.
You can afford to lose, where it's not even it's like whatever, right? Have fun, play, enjoy it. We're on week 2 of the NFL season. Should be a great week. And if you win, we want you to win. We want you to get first place. Like, we want you to win. So we love to hear if that was to happen, and just reach out to us. Let us know. So
yeah, and I want to leave you on this note that I want to leave you guys pondering for a couple days. The theme, I don't know what week Thanksgiving is, if it's week 8 or whatever. We can dive into that over the weekend. But the theme of the Thanksgiving slate of games last year was thankful for parity, Parity. So what that means is, and this has been a bit of a trend in the NFL, my thesis, because I remember Dennis and I were working at AT&T in 2015, and we were trying to bet NFL weeks 1 through 5, and I was like Peyton Manning would go into Tennessee and lose to whatever no-name guy was the quarterback, and we're like, what's going on? And so the first 5 weeks it's almost got like, now that the preseason is just straight backups, it's almost got like a preseason feel to it. Balls bounce a different way. Things happen that you wouldn't think or expect. The Lions beat the Chiefs. And I'm not a knock on the Lions at all. Just, you just think the Chiefs are going to hold it down. That was in Arrowhead, right? So, yeah, we might be thankful for parity again this Thanksgiving, right? Because if you're in charge, if you're driving a multi-trillion-dollar cruise ship with all these NFL teams and fans on it, you want as many people on board. You want all the lifeboats up. You want everybody having a beer in the bar, or hanging out in the pool, or in the hot tub, or watching a comedy show, or dancing, or something like that. You want all these markets to be active participants as far into the year as possible. So you'll notice that if you look at the teams in the NFL now, let me adjust my tinfoil hat real quick, guys. I got my tinfoil headphones on here. But you'll notice that there used to be teams getting eliminated like that. Like October would come, somebody be like 3 or 4 teams would be like 0-8, and they'd be like, well, they're gone. It doesn't happen anymore. You have one team that's just a unmitigated abject failure, like maybe 2 or something, right? Because let's face it, somebody's got to eat it. But if we're thankful, this is the note I want to leave you guys on. If we're going to be thankful for parity again on Thanksgiving, think about how we'll get there.
I like it.
It happens with games like the Jets beating the Cowboys and making us all scratch our heads. So I'm not trying to speak this into existence. I am an actual Cowboys fan. So anyway, if we're going to be thankful for parity on Thanksgiving, think about how we'll get there.
Man, oh man. I like it. All right.
And on that bombshell,
wraps
guys,
it up.
Yes, sir. That's the show. Dennis, thank you. Everybody, if you're still listening, holding on for dear life, thank you. And we'll see you here in a couple days. Yeah.
Have a good night, guys. Eagles Vikings tomorrow night. Could be a good game.
Catch it.
Later.